Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about anodes or zincs, how important it is on an outboard motor, especially a Suzuki. Now I'm not going to show you how to put the zincs on, but I'm going to show you how the zincs deteriorate, and every season you may want to check them, or every other season. So this motor already has had like a full service. And I'm just going to show you what the zincs look like, and you're going to be pretty amazed, and you're going to want to check your zincs. So check this out. So here we have the zincs. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zincs. Now this motor is a 2011 Suzuki 4-stroke 175. Okay. And they come with the stainless steel prop. This is an automatic. And it's on a transom bracket, stainless steel, which I'm really not sure if it's better for the boat. But what it does is these brackets it gives you an enclosed transom, which I love. And you have all this room here, all this storage and all of that if you had a open bow boat like this one, you wouldn't get that. So the motor would sit in here and you lose all this space. Now this is a nice boat, and you can see how you lose so much space in the back fishing area, where being on a transom bracket, it gives you a lot more room, and it makes a smaller boat look bigger. And just taking a look at inside my boat, this is a 23-foot, and you can see all the fishing area you have. You can easily fish 4 guys on here, no problem. You know, you could probably squeeze 5 guys in here, but 4 guys would be very comfortable. 2 guys would sit there, and 2 guys can sit back here like on a cooler, or sit on those seats over there. But let's get back to the motor. So here, this is how important it is to change these zincs. I mean, look at that. So what happens is these zincs, they're like sacrificial zincs, that instead of the salt water eating at your motor, because I think these are aluminum motors, like the heads and the blocks, they're going to eat up these zincs. Now the Suzukis have a lot more zincs than I think the Yamahas, that have a bigger zinc. But even on the Yamahas, any 4-stroke engine, or maybe even the 2-strokes. I'm not sure if the 2-strokes have zincs, but I know these 4-strokes all have zincs on them. And hey, go out and buy these. And if you don't know where they are or how to do it, just hire somebody to check them and change them all. You know, tell them you want to change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Look at the size of this. Man, that thing was eaten alive. So now in this motor, they're all new, and what'll happen is the salt water will eat at your exhaust manifold, because I think the water goes through there and keeps it cooler, and then it goes through your motor as well. And that's why Suzuki put all these zincs in it. Even on wave runners have these zincs, and you got to check them and change them, because that's why a lot of people get water in their motors, because they never change these zincs. And then once these zincs wear out, it starts eating at the components inside the engine, and then the water somehow finds its way into the oil, and then your motor's shot. You're gonna have to spend tons and tons of money replacing the zincs on your motor. Okay, so this boat is very dirty, a lot of barnacles. I'm gonna have the bottom redone professionally. So basically, I'm not able to take the boat off the trailer and put it on stands and scrape everything down, and they're gonna raise the water line to where you see the water. I asked them to. It's gonna be black. They're gonna use black paint, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even though like it has a green rubber, I gotta get a stainless steel screw for this. Push it up, throw a screw right in there. They've done it in other spots, and then I'm gonna try to clean the boat as best as I can. This is a 1998 Neptune Sunbird, and this is the original manufacturer, Neptune. And then Neptune was bought out this hull by a lot of other different manufacturers, was using this same boat and selling them under a better brand for more money than what this boat originally sold for. So this is a cuddy cabin. That top is probably an extra. That's called a hard top. So with the hard top, you could put radar, and you know, like you could put 2 radars. You could put all kinds of stuff up there. You know, so if you're really gonna go out at night or you're gonna be in a fog, you want to have radar to help you navigate, and you can see what's in front of you. Now, you know, the hole itself is okay. It's not it's sort of like a deep V, but it doesn't bow out like this guy. You know, where this is probably a little drier ride, you know, because you can see how it bows out, and you may get less water, but that's a completely open boat. But I've been on this boat where I've gotten splashed all the way up there, and the water came way over and splashed. Now, Grady Whites have larger bows on them, but then, you know, I've never really been on one, and I can't say that you're not going to get splashed, but I think everybody gets splashed. But you could put like all canvas around here and then make it enclosed, and you're not going to get wet. But it's pretty seaworthy boat. You know, all boats, once they get out in the water, they're small. I mean, that's just the way it is. Once you're out in the water, you're in the ocean, you have a small boat. No matter how big it is, it's going to be a small boat. And the smaller the boat, the smaller it is in the ocean. Just one quick thing about this marina. This is an inexpensive marina. So guys come here and they save money because if you look in the back, so if you see that building, there's a gate there. So that's a tide gate. So what they do is they open and close that depending on the tide, how high the tide is, and then you can't get out or you can't get in. So that's a pretty much of a hassle, you know, because if you're out fishing all day long, or you're out with your boat or your wave runner or whatever you're doing, and you want to come back in and that gate is closed, you can't come in. You got to wait until that gate opens up. Now, that's going to be pretty miserable if you're on a wave runner or it's raining out. So that's why this place is cheap. I mean, I wouldn't put my boat here. I'd rather pay the extra $500-600 and go where there's a marina I can get in and out easily. I would never want to wait for that gate, no matter how much this place costs. But, you know, there's a lot of people. There's a ramp back there that you could put the boat in the water. So they're going to look at these boats. A lot of old boats. I mean, basically an old boat is as good as your motor. So like this boat has an old Yamaha 200 V6, a 2-stroke engine. Right, and this is a Grady White, like a 20-foot boat. And here's a Tidewater, very expensive boat with a 115 4-cylinder Yamaha, and probably that 4-cylinder pushes this 18-foot boat around pretty good. You know, here's a trophy. This is a very common boat with a 2-stroke Mercury saltwater, 19-foot boat, and you know, for fishing around here, it's pretty good. You can go out in the ocean with that, depending on the conditions. Old, looks like a wooden boat, right, with a like a 75 horsepower motor on it. So these guys don't really go out that far. They probably just hang around here crabbing, fluke fishing, you know, whatever's in the area, that's what they're gonna fish for. You could probably catch fish in here, but with that gate, I don't know. You know, here's a Pro Line. So here's an example of like my boat, but this is like probably from the 80s. Right, that has a transom bracket. Now this boat could have been converted to a transom bracket. Maybe it had an inboard outboard motor, so the guy could have got the boat for practically nothing, threw a transom bracket on it, and he's in business and he's got an enclosed transom. And what the enclosed transoms do is for you is that if you got kids on the boat or there's somebody gonna fall, you're not falling out of the boat. You know, you got the transom to hold you. You know what I mean? So that's the good thing. So here's another, what kind of boat is this? Grady White, okay. This is like an overnighter. And you can see how the Grady, like how much room back there is taken up by that open transom. You know, there's like barely any room back there. Yeah, I mean, you could fish up in the front here like one guy. That's about it. And the walkabout is just so you could, if you land a fish, you can walk around the boat. If it's a big giant fish, you can walk around, but you're not going to do that with stripers or bluefish or fluke, sea bass, anything small like that. Maybe like a tuna will drag you around the boat. So here's a, you know, simple boat. Look at this fuel tank. I mean, this is a bow open. This is like a dual console bow rider. You know, these guys just use it for local fishing. Here's a nice little boat. And this is a pontoon. You know, people love pontoons. You know, so this one's all ripped up. You know, what are these people make crab with this? Who knows what they do with it? You know, they go out, the guys party, Trump supporters. Oh, should have said that. I'm gonna get flagged. And here's another. This is considered a walk-around boat. So you can see like the helm is in the middle, and this is like designed because guys just want to go out quick and fish and be able to fish in the whole boat. So on a boat like this, you can put more guys on the boat. So you could do like 8 guys, like 4 guys on each side, 6 guys. Where if you have a, let's see, a cuddy, there's no more cuddies. Everybody has center consoles, and now center consoles are like the more popular boats because everybody wants center consoles. The only thing I don't like about them is that if you bring, you know, ladies, your wives, you know, women on the boat, there's nowhere for them really to go to the bathroom. If it's not a really big boat, they can't change anywhere. It's more like for men in reality, you know, because, you know, men can just take care of business. Nobody, you know, men don't give a shit, you know, but women, you know, they're a little more bashful. Like this one here may have a toilet. This is a little bigger boat. This is a nice boat. You know, striper, that's a common name. And here's another bow rider. And this is considered a dual console, right? And this is an old boat with an inboard motor. You know, this striper has a transom bracket on it. This is a really nice boat. And boats today cost a fortune. Like if you was to buy a new boat like this today, this size, probably $150,000. But you could probably buy this boat used for like 25. You know, and even though he's got these 2 old Johnsons on it, if you repower this boat with 4 strokes, this boat will be worth maybe $60,000. I mean, this is a big boat, and look at the size of that cabin. I mean, if you could see that cabin is gigantic. I mean, this is a big boat. Look at all the fishing room in the back, and it's a Mako. And Mako makes some allegedly excellent boats. I mean, this is a nice boat. Like, this boat has everything you would possibly want in a boat. It's got a cabin. You could walk around. You have that big transom bracket that doubles as a swim platform. You have that huge back fishing area that people can hang out on. And this is a safe boat. Look at the padded gunnels and all of that. They're pretty high up. You have a soft top. Awesome boat. I mean, this is something I would definitely consider buying in the future. And this is probably like a 28-foot boat. I mean, look at all the seating there, you know. Even the walkabout part is pretty big. So you can like stand on there. You could dive off of that. You can get a ladder that you can climb in or swim to the back and jump in. But this is a very nice boat. And there's a whole bunch of boats. Here's an older boat. Like, look at this thing. Whew. Look at this. This is probably a seaworthy boat. You know, I mean, this is the back, right? And so this is called tunnel drive. This is a tunnel drive, right? So basically the motor's in the middle, and then the transmission is over here, and the propeller spins, and this is how you steer the boat, right? With this boat is a tunnel drive too. This has 2 motors and 2 tunnel drives, because it's technically like in a tunnel. This is a fiberglass boat, little duckies, right? Here's a nice boat. I mean, somebody's restoring this. And boats are very expensive to restore. I mean, like a boat like this, if you bought this today, like this big, this is probably like a 38-foot boat. If you bought it brand new, it'd cost you like maybe $1 million. A big boat like this. Yeah. But you wouldn't have the tunnel drive. You'd have like 3 or 4 outboards, like 400 V8s to push that thing around. Now here's a couple of. So here's what they call IO, means in and out motor. So what happens is they put The motor's inside in the back. Oh, this is a outboard. All right, so this is on a bracket. Here's another popular boat. And a boat like this, an 18-foot boat, if you bought this today brand new with like a 4-stroke engine, maybe a 150 or 115, probably cost you about $65,000, you know, without a trailer. You know what I mean? And this is like for 1 guy, 3 guys. You could fish 4 guys on here. You know, you're not going to go too far, but guys take these boats out, you know, 20, 25 miles out. They don't care. You know, they're going to go and they're going to fish. And here's an older, you know, fishing boat. This is old. Aqua Sport. I mean, you look at that. Now, this boat needs complete, total renovation. Another tunnel drive. And this thing's like in storage. They haven't probably touched this boat in years. You know, more tunnel drive. And usually the older boats have that tunnel drive. You know, not like my boat. You know, it's 23 foot, 23 and a half. Then with the bracket, it's longer with the bow pit here for the anchor. It makes it a little longer than 23. It's like a 25, 26. But a boat like that today, if you bought a boat like that today with a transom bracket and a like a Grady White 23-foot boat, is probably $150,000 with no electronics. So you would get like a Steigercraft, a Grady White. There's a couple of other boats that are not as popular as Grady Whites and Steigercrafts. I would prefer to get a Steigercraft over Grady White any day. But like a 23-foot boat like this and a Steigercraft, you know, different design, and it would be a pilot house. It would be all enclosed. Would be about 150 grand. Yeah, I think I saw one for 125 with no electronics, no trailer, nothing. Right, so you would have to put all that on yourself. Now this is like a pretty nice boat here. Tidewater. These are unsinkable boats. They're very popular, very expensive. Right, so this one's on the transom. Okay, so this one it's out of the water. It looks like it's been sitting here for a while. Maybe it's got engine problems. It's got a 200 Yamaha on it. You know, who knows what's, you know, something wrong with it. But yeah, so you could see, like, if this thing had a transom bracket, this part here would probably, you know, come up to here, and you would have that much more room in the boat, right? And you wouldn't, I mean, it's still like sort of like an enclosed transom, but rather than putting the bracket, they just built this onto it. And that's how they do it. And then you would access your bilge pump and all of that stuff from here. This is like a swim ladder. But this is a very nice boat. I mean, look at that top. You got the speakers up there. It's a beautiful boat. I mean, you know, Tidewaters are nice boats. This is old. So this is what they call an IO, inboard, outboard. So basically, this is the transmission here. And the engine's inside, and the drive shaft pushes this with all these weird gears. And, you know, believe it or not, these are very expensive to maintain. Very expensive. I mean, like, the IOs are always breaking. Where they've kind of perfected the 4-stroke outboards. I mean, guys are getting 6,000 hours, 4,000 hours out of them. You know, with proper maintenance, like changing those diodes, those anodes. So this is an older 22-foot angler, and this boat's been sitting here for a long time. So you can see it has, you know, you can see the difference, you know, from my boat to this boat. This is an older boat. This is probably from the 80s. You know, and it's on a transom. They probably put this motor on a few years ago. You can see it's got fresh caulking. Or maybe they just repowered it with this 4-stroke, you know, a couple of years ago. I mean, it is kind of yellow. And but this thing is sitting, so there's got to be something wrong with the motor. This is junk. No one's gonna fix this up. This boat is so old, you know, unless like they give it to somebody. Oh, the transom's no good. So you can see here, this whole transom is shot. So it's probably not worth fixing it. So what happens to these boats is they either try to part them out, they'll sell the seats, They'll sell the steering wheel, you know, these covers, whatever they can salvage. The fuel tank, if it's worth it. Radio, I mean, they're like 20 bucks. And the swim platform, you can get a little money for that. And all this hardware, like they can sell, like all this hardware, the rub rail, you know, unless you get somebody with a lot of time and money to come and like restore this boat, you know, but I don't see it happening. So what they'll do is in the future, they'll take everything off, scrap whatever they got to scrap, and then just cut it up into pieces and put it in a dumpster and get rid of it. I mean, this thing's even had an accident. Look at that, it crashed. It cracked the front. This boat is junk. This one here too looks like that Catalina 25. It's probably a trash boat. You know, why they're still here, I don't know. You know, there's probably something wrong with the engines. The IOs, they're very, you know, unreliable motors. That's why you don't even see like new boats with inboard outboards, because the 4-strokes are just so reliable. They're good on gas, they're silent, quiet. You know, well, the bigger the motor you get, a little bit noisy, but they're still quiet. You don't even hear them. Now, this boat looks like it has a pretty new motor on it. This is a 2-stroke motor. So it was the high pressure direct injection, you know, but they had carbon buildup problems. I mean, this needed a lot of attention. Who knows if this motor runs? That's why this boat's sitting here. So this is a 4-stroke new Mercury, which I think it has a Yamaha power head on it. But this is a trophy. This is a really nice boat. Now, this isn't an ocean boat. This is more like a bay boat, a lake boat. You don't want to take this in any deep waves, because what'll happen is you can see the front, right? The way it's designed, the water will just go right in and flood the whole boat. So this is basically a boat that you're going to use casually. You're not going to go out in the ocean. Even in the bay here, it gets really rough. This is the Raritan Bay. This gets rough in there. You don't want to take this thing out in any rough weather. You don't want to go through like an inlet like the Manasquan Canal, because you're going to get flooded. You want to make everybody sit in the back. This is a pretty nice boat, big deep V, very nice. A Polars are very nice boats, very nice boats. Now maybe like these guys, they can't afford to put the boat in the water. They're old already and all of that stuff, and they just keep them stored here. Here's my mechanic, and this is a really nice boat. You know, this is a Polars. You know, this unsinkable boats. That's what they are. 154 stroke. Look at this old thing. Woof. This is junk. I don't know. You know, probably it's only worth whatever they can scavenge off it and sell the trailer. But guys, this is JohnAvanti. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked the boat tour. Try to do some more videos like that. Take care. Peace out.